1. This specific 3D tour depicts the top floor of the temple Tamang Gompa at Buddhanath Stupa in Nepal. This is a sacred space where ritual ceremonies are conducted. In the Tamang Gompa, the description of the model tells us that the central image is of Padmasambhava, or Guru Rinpoche. In the image, Padmasambhava looks like a depiction of a Buddha to the untrained eye. However, we now know that Guru Rinpoche is a figure central to Tibetan Vajrayana Buddhism for his role in establishing Buddhism in Tibet. The fact that he's depicted in this way represents core principles of Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhism, such as Svabhava Sunya, or emptiness of inherent existence, and Tathagatagarbha, the inherent Buddha nature of all living beings. Padmasambhava, considered a tantric master with supernatural abilities, is depicted in this way to convey each being's inherent ability to achieve Buddhahood, as well as the Vajrayana concept that a guru is the only pathway to accelerated enlightenment. We are also told by the description of the model that the space is used for ritual performances, but now that we know what Tantrism is and that Guru Rinpoche was a tantric master, we know more about what that actually means. While it's called a ritual performance, one will be practicing alone or with a guru, using mantras, mudras, and visualization meditation, or sadhana, to work towards spiritual insight and identify oneself with a bodhisattva. These bodhisattva figures, central to both Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhism, can be seen around the temple room and serve as further aids to the practitioner for visualization. We noted in our initial observation that the room was thoroughly decorated but not in pristine condition and appeared to be in regular use. This aligns with what we know now about the actual purpose of the room. The images in the room, as well as the ritual objects like drums and the text stored in the cabinets near the ceiling, all have functions in tantric practice.
In the depiction of Guru Lakhang at Buddhanath Stupa, I am assuming that the figures with the colored faces pictured on the sides of Guru Rinpoche are bodhisattvas. Reaching the state of a bodhisattva is key in both Vajrayana and Mahayana practice. As we have discussed, through tantric practices, which is what appears to have occurred in this specific room, beings are able to achieve this level of enlightenment much quicker. A bodhisattva vows to reach enlightenment not just for themselves, but for the benefit of all sentient beings. One thing that we originally noticed was that individuals tended to practice Buddhism as a group, and this has proven to be partially true. While practitioners engage in meditation, ritual, and visualization in order to progress towards their own enlightenment, their motivation is not individual in a selfish sense. The bodhisattva ideal shifts the purpose of practice. Even when one trains alone or within a group, the aim is to cultivate compassion and wisdom so that one may better serve others. In this way, the visual of bodhisattvas surrounding Guru Rinpoche in the Guru Lakhang visually reinforces the central message of Vajrayana and Mahayana, which is that enlightenment is not isolated from achievement, but a commitment to the spiritual well-being of all. Along with the bodhisattvas, I also noticed potentially past Buddhas depicted on the wall, and this reinforces the idea I previously mentioned. I think that their images remind practitioners that the path to enlightenment is not taken alone and is part of a long lineage of awakened beings who have dedicated themselves to the liberation of others. I think these Buddhas function as inspiration and affirmation that enlightenment is possible and that if others have achieved this, you can too, sort of reaffirming the concept of Buddha nature.
Swayambhunath is an ancient religious complex atop a hill in the Kathmandu Valley, west of Kathmandu city. The Swayambhunath monument is representative of rich symbolism present in Buddhist devotional sites. Each part of the structure has specific iconographic roles. The dome represents the universe, whereas the spire represents the path to enlightenment. The Buddha eyes that grace the top of the structure represent wisdom and compassion in each separate eye, and the nose spiral in the middle represents their union, which is highly important in Vajrayana Buddhism, as the union of compassion and wisdom is supposed to be the prerequisite for enlightenment. Besides the stupa, this symbolism is often employed in sadhana visualization meditations, where dedicated tantric practitioners imagine themselves as a deity and a sexual intercourse with another deity, hoping to attain their enlightened attributes and plant the seed of bodhicitta, an altruistic desire to maintain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. Therefore, the central ideal of Mahayana Buddhism is represented in the stupa as an inspiration and reminder for the pilgrims.
There is a series of ritualized practices associated with the stupa. Ritual is a vital part of Nepalese Buddhist landscape because it is meant to drive the minds toward a concentration and inspiration of Dharma and generate good karma for the self and the community overall. The first ritual associated with the stupa is circumambulation, which involves walking in a circle around the structure. This is often accompanied by spinning of prayer wheels, which constitute an important technology in Vajrayana Buddhism ritual whereby one spins the wheel inscribed with mantras and that releases blessings for everyone around them. Another one is the employment of prayer beads, which one uses to count the number of times they've recited the different mantras dedicated to different deities or bodhisattvas. Finally, one uses stupas to give offerings to deities in the form of fruit, grains, and other valuables as yet another means of making merit.